Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of information about the filmmakers behind this film, which I think might explain a lot for you. So Julia Cox was the writer. I'm pretty sure this was her first feature film that she's had made, that she's written.
Oh, wow.
So that was incredible.
Okay.
I think that's
big budget.
fair play. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The directors, Jimmy Chin and Chai Vasarhelyi, who are a married couple, by the way. Their background is in sports documentaries. So they did Free Solo.
Oh, okay, I saw that.
Meru.
Didn't see
which
that.
I actually haven't seen. But then have done like, Jimmy Chin has done like a whole series of like loads of extreme sports.
Is this their first narrative?
So this is their first narrative, like fiction
How
feature.
have they got onto this when they've not done anything fiction before?
Because they've done so well in the documentary space.
And this is not a documentary, but, you know, the way that it's shot is going to be very complicated in the way that Jimmy Chin shines at. Whenever you're watching a documentary and you think, so if this is how complicated it is for the person we're watching, what's the camera operator rated? It's Jimmy Chin. He's amazing. He's like got some of the most iconic shots that we've ever seen in like documentary filmmaking. He's like the guy. Yeah.
But what about working with actors?
So I think that was something that both of the directors, both Jimmy and Chai, struggled with at first, because it's a huge film for their first fiction feature. And so their first day on set, they said there was 450 people on set.
Oh my God.
And they're working they're in a tank. They've got a tank that has 4 blue screens, and then the other side, the 4th screen, is a infinity pool that looks out onto the ocean. And they've got a boat. They're on like a platform next to the boat. Like, it's really like intense, like technical stuff going on. So the actors are all on the boat doing a take. They finish the take, and then Jimmy and Chai get told, we don't have time for you to go over to get over to the boat, give them the notes and come back. So they had to be shouting their notes over like a megaphone.
Oh my God, that's so intimidating.
In front of all these people. And this is their first time ever directing anybody. And they have said that it was really hard, because they were just like, oh my, like they're learning, and they're doing it in front of people who probably do this all of the time and have done this so many times and seen so many directors.
And isn't the point that, like, usually when Jimmy's making a movie, it's literally just him, like, and the subject kind of thing?
Yeah, well, sometimes
because they're in really
bigger
remote places, so it's like it's very like minimal. Well, I'm just thinking of Meru. I'm really just channeling that one at the moment, which is like one of the hardest climbs, you know, that people have ever done, and So the thought of then it just being this insane circus, that's so interesting.
God, that is so intimidating.
So I think they did struggle with that.
Yeah, and I bet that like more experienced people around them would have like squashed them a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like even the fact that someone said to them, you don't have time to go over, like that's the sort of thing that they say to like an actor, like you don't have time to go to the bathroom, but like you don't tell the director that they can't go over and give notes to the actors. Like that's like set. Not okay. That's their set.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The thing is as well, if you're in that situation, maybe you don't know to say, no, this is what I need to do for my process, because you can't be confident in what your process is because you've never done it before.
Yeah.
So how did they work with the actors then? Did they have lots of rehearsal, or did they make like something before, like even if it was just like a few short scenes? Or
I actually don't know, and I wish I had the answer to that.
So why did they start on that day? Start on one of the smaller days in the house.
I don't know.
Oh, but was this made by Netflix?
Yes. So it was made, produced by Black Bear.
Love.
But Netflix were on it before it went into production. So yeah, it was made by them. So it was already huge. I actually couldn't find the budget though anywhere, but given all of that I've just said, it's going to have been a high budget. Yeah.
God, this is so interesting.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about this film, by the way, going into this conversation, and also going into the film apart from just little bits that you had said. And I can, it makes sense to me why it feels the way that it does based on that.
Yeah, any parts, because when I watched the first bit, had a nap, watched the second bit, when the titles came up and it said Jimmy Chin, then I sort of reflected on all of the parts of the first 40 minutes that I was like, oh, not sure, because I had cried at the end, so great. And thought, okay, actually, I feel like I can be so much more forgiving of all of those things because, like, I get it, and I will defend Jimmy Chin and Jodie Foster until the day I die.
Well, so will I now.
Yeah.